that Naana Opoku is the NDC party's running mate. She's an accomplished educationist and a professor, and she's speaking to us for the next few minutes on the campaign, the election, and what it means. Prof, great to have you.
Nice to have you too.
How has it been?
It's been challenging. It's been educating, and I'm very happy to be doing this.
Is it grueling though? Because I know you've been to at least 8 regions.
I keep saying that life for any woman is grueling. Can't be. But I think what makes it less grueling, what makes it interesting, is how you plan your day. I used to tell young ladies at the campus that your day will not get longer because you are busy. It will still be 24 hours. So it's a question of how you partition those 24 hours. And more than that, how you feel about what you are doing. If you enjoy what you are doing, if you feel it is useful for others, then you can put your grueling parts on the back burner. But it doesn't mean you should just keep go. You must also have time to really take it easy.
So what are you? Are you a technocrat? Are you a politician? Because first time I heard you, I've heard you on radio. I was in, I think, secondary school as a host. Then VC of UCC, I was at Legon. Then Minister of Education. Then now this, of course, presidential debates as well. So Prof, at what point did you become a politician? Because I know you've done a bit of radio hosting, of course, run UCC, Minister of Education, presidential debate. At what point did Professor Naana Opoku become, or were you a politician throughout? Have you been a politician throughout?
That's an interesting question. If we break it down as what it is, as what politics is, and if we define it loosely as having access to power, having access to resource, especially in terms of power, you need to ask yourself, where did the power come from? And for what reason do you have that power? That power has been given to you by somebody. And that power should be returned to that person to empower the powerless, if I may put it that way. So insofar as you are running a school, you are heading a department or a faculty, you are heading a university or a ministry, you are in that unique position to support others. And if that is what politics is, then I believe you're a politician too.
So let me rephrase that. At what point do you become partisan? Because the reason is that when we did your profile, some of the content was when you were on Radio Gold, you interviewed former President Rawlings, and Radio Gold is perceived to be NDC leaning. But after that, you ran a whole university before you became a Minister for Education. So at what point have you always been NDC?
Let me explain something to you. When I was invited to host the program, it was called Platform. And I was coming from Cape Coast. I remember having discussion with the management that, why me? Can't you find someone from Accra? And I was told, no, they wanted somebody who would be fair, who would be seen to be fair to everybody. And I like that. I interviewed His Excellency J.J. Rawlings. I also interviewed Kufuor. I interviewed all the presidential aspirants at the time. And insofar as, Party A is saying, no, you were not fair to our candidate, you asked tough questions, and everybody is saying the same, then you are being fair. So it is that fairness that I've tried to exhibit in all my life. You are the university teaching students. Doesn't matter whether they vote or they don't vote, or they go to church or they don't. That's not your concern. Your concern is, who are these people becoming? What am I teaching? Is it going down well? Are they participating? Are they with me? Am I with them? So these are some of the issues you ask yourself. And it is that attitude that I've taken everywhere with me. If I'm at the ministry, you saw the things we did there. We never said, oh, this is our stronghold, so let's go and put the school there. That's not our stronghold, so let the kids suffer. We never did that. We did a very, very objective study of the situation in the country, and we accordingly tackled. So in the end, somebody may ask, why did you put a big market in Kumasi when it is not your stronghold? And I believe that this should be an example to all of us, that it is one country, everybody has given you the power, some didn't vote for you, that's not the issue. But you are there to serve the entire country, and it should be seen to be very fair to all of them. It is the NDC that has reached out to me. I've accepted because I share in their philosophy of social democracy. I share in the emphasis on the vulnerable, on the poor. So when we were in the ministry, removing schools from under trees, ensuring that the public schools that most people will vote with their money away from were also doing well. These are the things that resound, or rather resonate very well with what I think society should be doing. We should start from the margins and then move towards the middle. So that is my conviction too.
We'll talk about NDC's policies on education, but now we are here. Let me just wrap up on the issues of moderation, because you moderated IEA
yes.
Presidential debate 2012.
Yes.
Your opposite number at the time is now information minister. Some people perceive that the two of you were selected because of your political leanings. Is that correct?
Listen, when I heard of this, I wasn't even in the country. My term as Vice Chancellor had come to an end. I'd handed over October 1st, which is a significant day for me because it's my son's birthday. And that same day, I had to leave for Paris because I was on the executive board of UNESCO. And normally UNESCO is a 3-week meeting. It takes a long time. And so I thought that, this is the first time I'm going to give UNESCO my fullest attention because I'm not going to worry, call registrar, what's going on and so on. So I was at UNESCO when I got that call. And I remember name withheld. And I remember telling the person, listen, this is such an involving thing that you need a lot of time to prepare. So can't you find someone else? Again, like platform. And he said, listen, when you come home, then you'll understand why we want you to do this. So yes, the meeting ended. I came home. I even tried to influence the timetable they had set. And they said, if you know the trouble we had gone through, getting everybody to agree on this. So the long and the short is that I was not invited to that debate by the NDC. Far from it. I was invited to that debate because somebody thought I'd be fair. And I like that fairness. Yes, I'm supposed to be tough and all of that, but fairness, justice for me is very important. Giving everybody a fair opportunity. It wasn't Mahama who called.
So it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that both of you are now leading members of the two main parties at the time.
Well, at the time, I'm not sure if I could have called myself a leading member of the NDC. I just finished my term as Vice Chancellor, and I've also heard some of those comments like, yeah, that is why you were made Minister for Education. And I said, these people don't know me. Do they think that's all I could have bargained for if that was the case? But, it's a recognition that you do a good job. That in itself puts a lot of responsibility on you because people want to be president. Why not? Why do you want to be president? That is all. Even the questions, the question bank was not created by us. People
really?
Don't know, yeah, there's so much in it. A lot I will not.
Because in the US, I was watching the Chris Wallace debate, Joe Biden, Trump, and he said he wrote the questions. So he essentially said, these are my questions.
No, in our case, it wasn't that wasn't it.
I see. So the organizing body.
Yes, the follow-up, of course, you never know, like what we are doing. You can never predict follow-up questions. You can predict some, but not all of them.
Okay. But
because it depends on how the interviewee responds to a question.
You had the latitude to do follow-ups.
You have to do follow-ups. Because you see, the person is there to explain why they want the position. Not to you, but to the audience. And so you want to give the space for the person to articulate what it is that they want to say as clearly as possible.
Okay. This is an unplanned follow-up. Professor, there's an unplanned follow-up. Professor Bartels.
You'll get an unplanned answer. Now go on.
No, Professor, I write nicely about you, narrate your work in many pages, and then you also give the foreword for that book. Have you been surprised at the reaction to the book you wrote?
Of course, I've been surprised because this is not the first foreword I've ever written in my life. But this is a foreword that has received such reaction. A foreword is not a critique. I'm in literature, for God's sake. A foreword is not a critique. It is not an introduction. It's not an analysis. when you're doing those kinds of assignments, there are different ways you go about them. The first simply introduces the essence of the book. And that's exactly what it was. So I was very, very surprised, yes. I was really, really surprised. And I said, oh, is that how polarized we become?
No, that's actually interesting, because your message when you were nominated and subsequently you've tried to say we should do a new kind of politics. How surprised have you been about the nature of political commentary in Ghana?
Yes, I think that is what calls for the new politics. Listen, we are a small country. When we compare ourselves with America, it's over 50 states. We are like one state, one small state in America. We have very, very serious basic issues. You just talked about our having toured the 8 regions. There are many things we have seen, and I feel there are many hurdles that we should have jumped by now. Here we are in Accra. COVID came. We had some rebates, water, electricity. I will not say it's a bad thing. But you see, there are people without that water, without that electricity. And I think that we should be interested in them too. There are streets that are so dusty, you can't imagine. Even during the day, you can't see your way forward. And water, roads, I mean, nobody should be begging for that. There are places where, when you're driving by, you see women with pails on their heads going to fetch water. And I keep looking, following to see, will they branch off the road? Is there water by the road they're going to fetch? Sometimes it's by the road. And I noticed this a long time ago when I was doing research in Upper West. Okay. So you see all of these things happening. And I don't think we should be sitting here fighting each other over things that sometimes I don't even understand. We are in a country still hinged on primary commodities, still importing things that we can even do, and surprised that our youth don't have jobs. These are things that I feel, these are conversations that I thought politicians should be having. Instead of this one said that and the other one didn't say this, and denials and rejoinders and so on. It's as if we don't have fundamental issues in this country. But we do. You live in a country where children can be in school. From KG now has been added 2 years. Primary school, 6 years, 8 already. Then you add 3 years of GHS. That's the basic school. And they still can't read and they can see. And it's not even a subject for conversation. It doesn't even bother us. Or we don't think that's as important as what politician A did or didn't do.
But some people say you need to compare records, because all the things you're talking about, political leadership is the driving force for change. And if somebody offers themselves for leadership, we have to know their track record. So yes, it may be presented as an argument over petty issues, but it actually goes to the heart of our developmental challenge.
Yes, but then what records? So we need to stay by the records. Let us stay by the records, compare the records, encourage people to do better. That way we move our country forward, don't we? We may not solve all the problems in one term, but we ought to be seen to be, even if inching is still movement, even if it's one step at a time, we're still getting somewhere.
People think the NDC has had more opportunities than other parties. Even in our fourth Republican democracy, 92 to 2000, 2008 to 2016. That's 16 whole years. So if the situation is that dire, the party that you are leading should take some of that criticism.
Everybody will take some of that. Let us not think.
But even then, NDC had more. Because if you look at the democracy since 92, I haven't brought Rawlings 81. I'm just talking 92 to 2008. 2000, that's 8 years. Kufuor comes 8 years. Mills, Mahama, another 8 years. So even in our democracy, Fourth Republic, you had 16. 8 plus 3.5. So that's... No, you are the one pointing out the problems. And I'm saying to you that your party has had more opportunities than others. So, what is the record? In education, that's where the issue is. Because you just told me that there are dusty roads, our kids can't read.
Colleges of education. These I think are achievements any country should be proud of. This is not to say that.
But how does turning a polytechnic into a technical university become an achievement?
It is an achievement.
Some people actually think that decision is counterproductive because we are missing out on the middle, that technician middle.
Have we bothered to see how far do they train their people there?
So, Prof, I want to understand, how does the technical university solve that?
It solves that by raising the level of learning, by raising the level of performance. A diploma is not the same as a degree. A lot of the students, you do the research, you'll find that a lot of the students will struggle so hard to get into the other tertiary institutions so they get degrees. And the saddest thing for me is that sometimes they want the degree so badly, they even veer off what they've done in the technical school. I've seen them in my own lecture theatre at UCC because they want degrees. So all the investment we have made in them in technical education is swept to the side because they want the degrees. So what does it take? Where are they now? What does it take to raise that level? So they'll be more productive. Technical education is not a very simple one thing. It's many, many, many things. If, for example, the person is, you look at the contracts we give in this country and look at the personnel that we import and look at their backgrounds. You do that with only one company, then you'll see how we are shooting ourselves in the foot by remaining at the level that we have been forever. The things I'm seeing are not too different from what I saw when I was Minister for Education, because you know that I did a lot of field work. We were hardly in the ministry because we wanted to see exactly what was going on with the schools. And in Ghana, we have many schools everywhere. So going around the country in that respect is not too surprising. There's a different pace and for a different reason and so on. It is to see where we are at as a country and where we can be. What has helped us is the way we did our manifesto. It's about the broad consultations we held. We went to the field, talked to people, went to regions, sought. You know, when we were hit by COVID, then we had to stop the physical movement and seek memos, phone calls, text messages, and so on. So we had a sense of what it was that was bothering the people, which is confirmed. A lot of it is confirmed by what we have seen. And earlier on I mentioned basic amenities. People are not even asking for the moon.
Aren't people saying they are tired of politicians? On my show last week, radio, a lot of people were saying they are tired of NDC and MPP. Do you get that same thing?
No, I'm not getting that. Maybe if they are tired of a certain party, they should say so. You see, that generalization is not
They say they are tired of both of you.
No, they are not.
No, it's true.
Yeah. Okay, I believe them. But all I'm saying is that let us compare records and let's move forward, because we can't get...
But are you getting...
We have decided this is how we want to run our country. Okay? Until that changes, that's what we have.
My question, what message... when you go to say vote on next 2-3 weeks, what are you going to tell them?
Me, it's a message of hope. It's a message of hope in the sense of what they are asking for that is possible to work together to achieve. So building consensus is very important. We know jobs is on the heart of everybody. We can't find jobs, we lost our jobs, and so on and so forth. Cocoa farmers are saying our yields are not as good as they used to be. Yam farmers are saying we have all this stockpile of yam, the roads are bad, we can't transport them, and so on and so forth. So the needs may not be uniform. Each area may have its own let's say, needs. But you see, you need to connect all these dots and give a message of hope that yes, it is possible for us working together to achieve a different...
But how different will this NDC be from the one that lost in 2016?
Now, you see, the question for me also is, why is it that soon after we lost, too soon after we lost, people were running back?
Which people?
Oh, the same people who voted against us. You know, it was too early. I thought it would be about 2 or 3 years before they'll even remember we existed.
Really?
Oh, yes. So you go, and again, you get that feel when we got that feel when we were doing our manifesto. A cocoa farmer will tell you, oh, we used to have our fertilizer for free. And we're told they'll increase the price. You were stealing our money and giving it to us. So it was not true. We should vote for them. They'll give us something different. And lo and behold, now they are selling.
The price.
Yeah, I know.
400.
But I'm reporting something to you. And lo and behold, now they're selling
living
it to
income
us.
differential. They've increased it.
Yes, but a bag is 80. If he needs $50 for his farm, how much has he paid?
A bag of what?
Of fertilizer.
We are told the fertilizer was being smuggled. So even though it was free, it wasn't getting to them.
So we should sell it.
But you give them, you increase the amount you give them per bag. So they get more money.
If it's being, what do you call it, smuggled, it cannot be a good thing. You find a way to stop the smuggling. You also look at the effect it is having on the cocoa production. All of a sudden you're getting huge tons. Is that also bad? Are you throwing away the baby with the bathwater? Go and stop the smuggling. Just recently we had police in a certain region because we said they are coming to vote. What were those army people doing about stopping the smuggling? So please, we need to get serious. So that is what they were telling us. That now I needed 50 bucks. 50 times 50, what is that? How much has this been increased? So in any case, that's the story they told us. and I'm just narrating it to you. Okay, so now this is it. We can't do this, our shoots are dying, a whole lot of complaints. And they themselves can make the comparison, and that is why they are running to.
So how optimistic are you that you will win?
People have asked me this question. You don't go into a race to lose. You go into a race to win. That's how I'll answer your question.
So come December 7, Ghanaians will vote for the NDC to win and become the next government.
Why not? They have every reason to do so.
I wish you well.
I need to thank all those who have bothered to listen.
Okay.
I want to thank them for their time, their interest. And I want to thank the many, many people who through phone calls, WhatsApp, so many messages just encouraging us to soldier on. We are extremely grateful. You said you've done all these regions. The reception has been overwhelming. I want to thank all of them. And not only, the people in T-shirts, yes, but what has really touched me, the old people coming on their walking stick, just coming to say thank you, God bless you, and so on. It's been truly, truly overwhelming. And I want to really, through your medium, say thanks to everyone.
We're speaking to the running mate to the National Democratic Congress, Professor Naana Opoku Agyemang. Took a bit of a break to speak to us because we understand she's going back on the field. And we've been trying to get her mind on some key issues. A lot of this was on education. Hopefully we'll get her again to speak on other issues. Thank you for watching. We'll see you.